think you can come to America without learning the necessary English vocabulary for travel and the airport? That's not necessarily true. So I've put together a list of the top 35 words and phrases in English that you will need when traveling to America. With these words and phrases, you will be a pro at traveling throughout the US. Airport security can be pretty impatient in general. I'm also teaching you the vocabulary that you will need after you land and go around in America. We will go over each term and phrase, examples to go along with them, and quiz you along the way. The first place you're probably going to go is the airline counter, sometimes called just counter. This is where you will check into your flight, get your boarding pass, and check in your luggage. Your boarding pass is basically just your ticket. It shows where the plane will be boarding as well as your seat in that plane. So when somebody gives you your boarding pass at the airport, they'll probably say something like this. Sir, this is your boarding pass. You will be boarding at gate 36 at 6:35. When you check in your bags, it's very common that they will say something like, Final destination, Houston? Even if you're connecting at another airport along the way. They aren't asking where your current plane is going, but where you are going to your final destination. Sometimes you have to check in items that are large, heavy, and or fragile. These items are called oversized items. Examples of this include kids stuff like strollers, medical equipment, musical instruments, and bikes. Different airlines have different rules when it comes to checking in oversized items. So just be sure to prepare by checking the website of the airline you're taking. Now, if you booked a ticket for business class or first class, once you check in and get through security, most airlines will offer you a business lounge. This is a really nice area in the airport that provides comforts that you normally would not find in just a regular airline terminal, like more comfortable seating, quieter environments, and often better access to customer service representatives. I usually fly in economy. I'm an economy person, so I have never really had access to a business lounge before. But one day, I want to be able to access it. Just once. Gate is very important to know when making your way throughout an airport. And a gate is a terminal where passengers embark or disembark. Your gate at the airport has a number, and it's where you board your flight or leave it.
Gate 72, row 12, seat A.
A departure gate is where your plane will be departing or leaving from. So when you get to the airport, you're looking for your departure gate. The opposite of a departure gate is an arrival gate. This is the gate where your flight lands at your destination. To arrive means to reach a destination, which is exactly what you're doing when you land in America. Some other common questions you may say at an airport are the following. What time is my flight? What airline am I flying? An airline, by the way, is a company which owns the plane that you're flying on. And where is my gate? I've said all these questions a lot. Once your gate is ready to start letting passengers onto the plane, that is called boarding or the boarding process.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are about to begin boarding South Northern Airlines Flight 34 to Grand Rapids.
By the way, if you're liking this video so far, don't forget to give it a thumbs up to let me know. Once you get on your flight and everything is all settled, then it is time to take off. In short, when a plane takes off, it leaves the ground and starts flying to your destination.
After takeoff, we'll be back with more information.
Now, let's play a quick game with this image right here of the interior of an airplane. A red arrow is going to point at a certain item on the picture, and I want you to think about what it's called. Do you guys know what the cluster of seats is called right here? These are rows. On your boarding pass, your seat will show a certain number to indicate which row it's on, like numbers 1 through 35 maybe. Do you guys know what this specific type of seat is called? It's called an aisle seat, also known as the seat that is closest to the aisle. My favorite type when I fly. This is the type of seat I always try to get. Now, if that's the aisle seat, what do you think this particular type of seat is called? This is called the window seat. Some passengers really like the window seat because they like to look out and see outside the plane. Now, what would you call these right up here? These are the overhead compartments. It's where your carry-on luggage is stored during the flight. Now, after your long flight is over, it's time for you to land, which means that your plane touches back onto the ground in your destination. You finally made it to America! Congratulations, everyone! You got through the hardest part. Kind of. Because unfortunately, you have to go through customs. No one likes customs. I hate customs. At American customs, we are pretty intense over here. This is the part of the international transport area where people and goods are examined. Here, they'll check if you're bringing anything illegal into the country, such as firearms, guns, drugs, or too much money. While you're on the plane to America, you'll also probably get what's called a customs sheet, which is where you declare anything you might have. Then you'll meet with the customs officer once you land. They will ask you the question, do you have anything to declare? You will always get that question every single time in customs. If you're not carrying anything that is forbidden, then you have nothing to declare and you just say no. Some of these forbidden items include stuff like aerosols, which are liquid or gas packed under pressure in a container. Have a bottle of hairspray? That's an aerosol. Sharp objects are another forbidden item. Sharp objects include knives or pocket knives, anything that is really considered sharp. Like I said, US customs can be pretty difficult if you're not from the country. That's at least what I've heard. So here are a few things that you can say in customs to make the whole thing go very smoothly. First, I have a connecting flight. If you've arrived at an airport where you will be boarding a second or a third flight to your final destination, this is what you tell the customs officer. I had to say this when I was traveling to the Philippines a few years ago. I had a layover in Japan where I was transferring and the customs officer was asking me all these questions and I was just like, I have a connecting flight. Japan is not my final destination. And once the customs officer heard that, he just let me go. That's how powerful this sentence can be. Second, I am traveling for leisure. If you're traveling for fun or for vacation, say this to let the customs officer know that. Leisure kind of means free time and implies you're going to visit in your free time, like a vacation. You can also say that you are traveling for a vacation. It means the same thing. Third, I am traveling for work. So, if you're on a business trip or something like that, this is what you'll say. Fourth, I will be here for days. They might ask you in customs how many days you'll be in America, and that's where you can say something like, I will be here for 90 days, or I will be here for 2 weeks. Just give the number of days you'll be staying in America. And finally, you can say, I am visiting family. If you have family members at your destination, the customs officer will want to know this. So when they ask you for the purpose of your visit, you can tell them, I am visiting family. Make sure to tell them the name and address of your family if they ask for it. I had the hardest time in customs when I traveled to England earlier this year. They wanted to know everything and interrogated me for 10 minutes. So guys, it's very important to know these sorts of phrases. Let's review everything we've talked about so far with a quick quiz. First off, what would you say to the customs officer if he asked you for the purpose of your visit and you were there on vacation? You would say, I am traveling for leisure. Remember, this is like saying I'm on vacation to the officer. It's just a more formal way to say it. Next, what would you call the gate where your plane lands? It's called the arrival gate, not departure gate. Now you can celebrate arriving in America, guys. You made it through customs. Yay! Now here are the phrases that you will need after you exit customs. Right when you exit, you're most likely going to go to the baggage claim, which is the designated location for receiving checked luggage, which will usually come out of these moving machines called carousels. Most airports also have what's called a meeting point, which is an area that's convenient for meeting your passengers. So if someone's picking you up from the airport, they will most likely be at the meeting point to meet you, the passenger. Thankfully, airport maps usually show the meeting point in a bright red star on the map, so it should be very clear. Here are some common questions you might find yourself asking after you get your luggage and get out of customs. Where is the currency exchange? A currency exchange is a place where you take the money that you use in your own country and get it changed for the money used at your destination. For America, it's, US dollars. You'll need this if you need to pay for a taxi or a bus. You should check in advance though if your credit card company has a foreign transaction fee. Because if it doesn't, you should not use currency exchange. Because the exchange takes a cut of the money and cash is not really used that often in America anymore. Another tip would be to try and exchange the money at a bank instead of at an airport, since currency exchange in the airport tends to be a lot more expensive than just at a regular bank. But if you are desperate for money, don't worry. Every airport should have a currency exchange. You'll be okay. Where can I find a bus? Or where can I find a taxi? Fun fact, most places in America actually don't have taxis. You'll usually find them in bigger cities like New York, LA, or Chicago. Because this is the case, you can always use Uber or Lyft to get you a ride somewhere. This is very common in the US and very safe. I myself have taken Uber many places. A lot of airports also have what is called a shuttle or a shuttle bus. A shuttle is kind of like a bus, but it's better than that. It carries passengers over an established route and are very common at airports. Whenever I fly to Korea, I always use the shuttle to get me to my Airbnb or wherever I am going from the airport. It's the best. I love the shuttles. Other than memorizing these phrases, when you're in America, you'll also want to understand what the people are telling you, right? And I know that can be very difficult, especially since we speak so differently, and a lot of the times we can be very fast. The best way I believe that you can truly prepare for this is by using FluentU, because FluentU teaches you English through real world media, through English that's actually spoken on the streets and not textbook English. If you're traveling to America anytime soon, you've at least got to take a few lessons with FluentU so you can learn and be exposed to English in all its forms. There's even a video about the top 3 most overrated travel destinations. There's vocab in there that I'm not teaching today. So I left a link for you in the description below that gives you a free trial of FluentU, so you can watch that video lesson for extra practice and study up on tons of other video lessons as well. Go check it out and just watch your English improve. Here we're gonna go over some quick vocabulary English just in case you're staying at a hotel. The first thing you're going to want to do is check in. This is basically where you announce to the hotel that you're there and you want to go to your room. You'll pay for your room, get your room assignment, and get the keys that you will need for your room, and any other information about the hotel. You'll also usually check in at what's called the front desk. Sometimes hotels offer what is called a complimentary breakfast, and I love complimentary breakfast because that means free food. Free breakfast, and you know me, I love free stuff and I love food. Your hotel room will be located on a floor of the hotel. A floor in this case is a specific level of a building. Once your stay at the hotel is over, you'll go back to the front desk and check out of the hotel. This is where you simply return your keys and leave. Now it's time to go out and about around the town. My favorite part of vacations when traveling in general. You'll go shopping, sightseeing, eating delicious food, and all that good stuff. Here are all the phrases and vocabulary that you will need. First, attractions. Attractions are interesting things to see. For example, if you're visiting California, a popular attraction is Disneyland or Hollywood.
The Blue Lagoon is one of Iceland's most popular attractions.
Next, we have the business district, also called the financial district. This is the center of the city where most offices are located. Most big cities will have a business district. We also have an entertainment district, which is my kind of district because the entertainment district is an area that has lots of clubs, bars, theaters, etc. It's where all the entertainment is. The next district, though, is my absolute favorite. Can you guess what it is? It is the dining district, also known as the area with lots of restaurants. I am the type of person who will travel somewhere just to eat the food. It's one of the main reasons I want to travel to Italy. If you ever visit America, you've got to check out the dining districts. The food there will have you never wanting to leave. Something to keep in mind while you're having all of this fun in America is to remember the goods and service tax. GST. GST is a tax that is put on goods and products that you buy in the US. So, for example, if you want to get a souvenir that is $1.79, because of the added tax here, the GST, it's going to be a bit more expensive, probably more close to $2. Now, some people want to travel somewhere for the scenery. Scenery means the setting of a place or natural beauty that you see around it. This word is usually used in a positive way. Like, the scenery is so beautiful here, I never want to leave. Are you a scenery person or a food eating person on vacation? Let me know in the comments below. I am 100% a food eating person. Now let's take a pause on everything that we've learned so far and go through a quiz. I went ahead and made my own quiz on FluentU with all of the vocabulary that we discussed in this video. And I want you guys to go through it and quiz yourself. So here's the quiz. Let me know how you guys did. Now, I have part 2 of this video right over here. It's all of the American slang that you will need to know while you're visiting here in America. We use it every day. I also have a PDF for you that I made in the description below with all of these phrases and sentences so that you can review and practice before you come to America.